The Red Sox gave Christian Campbell 8 years yesterday. It's a deal that goes through 2032. The deal is worth about $60 million, according to Jeff Passan. This is the guy, just as a reminder, he was drafted in the 4th round in 2023, and he's worked his way to be about the number 6 prospect overall in the MLB pipeline. There is no doubt that Christian Campbell has a chance to be a superstar. That's true. Last year, he rose through the farm system, had a really incredible year. What Craig Breslow, the new president of baseball operations for the Red Sox, has convinced Sam Kennedy, the president, and John Henry, the owner, along with Tom Werner, what he has said is, as we are putting together our team, I think we ought to get as many of these young players wrapped up as quickly as possible to complement the veteran deals we've done, the short-term deal with Bregman, the long-term deal with Devers. Because when you sprinkle in veterans with a really good young core, that's how you win in Major League Baseball. But the Red Sox and these other teams are missing one important component. You can get performance from young players even in the absence of a long-term guaranteed contract. Christian Campbell is not going to be a less important part of a winning Red Sox organization because he hasn't signed, just like he's not a more important part now that he has signed. It actually doesn't make sense, the thought that the teams have, for anything other than the certainty concept. But I ask you, if you're the Red Sox, when you are seeking this certainty, what's the purpose below? And I want to talk about this for a minute because I find it interesting, Coca. The surface we've talked about, very clear. You get certainty with your payroll. You may get some sort of bump and excitement from your fans who mistakenly think, and the media who mistakenly thinks that you're signing a player to that length of a deal, when in fact, every young player already has a 6-year contract. That's the humor of all of this. When you sign a player like Campbell signed to an 8-year extension, it sounds magnanimous. But really what you're signing him to is a 2-year extension, and you're guaranteeing certainty for the first 6 years when you really didn't have to. So the theory is you're getting a free agent named Christian Campbell, but you're getting him in 2031 and 32 when he would have been a free agent, so you don't have to bid then. And in case he could be worth 50, 60, 70 million dollars then, you're getting him for a far smaller amount now. That's the theory. It hasn't turned out to be the practice. Why? Because teams, whenever they sign a guy, like a Christian Yelich as an example, who we signed in 2015, we ended up having it work. But then the Milwaukee Brewers said, hey, Yelly, sorry you're so underpaid. We're going to give you more right now. We're going to feel badly because we so badly underpaid and won this deal. What's the purpose of giving players certainty and guarantee if anytime you actually get the advantage, you give the advantage right back and even more? For the life of me, I'll never understand that philosophy. What you do to young players, think about what the Red Sox did. Cedar Rafaela. Think about what they did with him. He's going to be good. That's the theory. He signed for 8 years, $50 million before he had played 50 days in the big leagues. The excitement around the Red Sox. We're picking him to win the pennant. Finally turning around. John Henry, not cheap. He's ignoring the Red Sox no longer. What happens when there's a team that actually makes mistakes? And forget the fact when they get it right, then they eliminate all of it by paying the player. What happens when they make the mistakes? What happens is you end up being the White Sox. You end up having to rebuild with guaranteed money that's not helping your team, and then you lose 100 games. Relying too heavily on this new fad in baseball is a mistake. I'm not saying the individual contract decisions are a mistake. I'm saying the collective mentality of seeking this certainty is enough to take away the benefit that the team would have by doing it. Think about teams that don't act this way. They have gone through the ringer with you. My friends all up in Canada. You're despondent beyond repair that you haven't signed Bichette and Guerrero. You think that somehow that having them for these first 6 years and then the potential of losing them makes Shapiro and Atkins and makes Rogers Communications a bunch of dopes and dummies. What exactly have the Blue Jays gotten out of the first 6 years of Guerrero and Bichette? If you want to sign them at market numbers in free agency, isn't that a price you're willing to pay in order not to overpay for years where the production may not match the deal and the production may not lead to team success?